Welcome back to Boom and Bust. I'm your host, Tony Clement, here with His Excellency Eli Hazan. He is Israel's ambassador to Singapore. Eli, I wanted to take advantage of the fact that you're in Asia, and from your vantage point in Singapore, what is the point of view and the reactions of Asian countries to this conflict?
It's very complicated if I have to explain it, because on one hand, there is a recognition, a very strong one, that Israel has the right to defend itself. There is a condemnation to Hamas. On the other hand, think about it. It's very far away from Israel. It is in Asia, and there are some, I would say, hostile countries in Asia who are against Israel and don't think that we have a legitimacy to defend ourselves. There are some Muslim countries here in the region, including Malaysia, who are very hostile to us. Other countries see it in a very different way from the Western countries. Sometimes the information is not accurate enough. For instance, I spoke with many Asians here in the region, and they know nothing about the fact that Israeli babies beheaded, Israeli women have been raped, and lacking information like that is very problematic because they cannot understand. They see the huge number of casualties in Gaza, and another interesting thing, they know nothing about the fact that Hamas uses people as a human shield. And therefore they're raising questions, very interesting and important questions about the number of casualties. We are trying to explain the complicated situation. More than that, they see the headlines that Israel is in the ICJ. And I'm trying to explain that South Africa is a very problematic country, very hostile. They are allies of PLO, they are allies of Hamas. And being ally of Hamas is very problematic. It's very challenging. On the other hand, we have our advantage as Israelis. So right now we are in a relatively good position, but it is challenging, no doubt about it.
You mentioned that you've got these Muslim countries. I'm thinking of Malaysia. I'm thinking of Indonesia, for example. But around the world, obviously, there are many other Muslim countries. Do you think that it's still possible? I mean, there was a lot with the Abraham Accords. There was a lot of momentum being built on normalizing relations between Israel and other Muslim countries. Do you think it's still possible to build those relationships in the future?
Let me tell you the following. I'm sure we will normalize the relations with many other Muslim countries, because this is the interest of many other countries. Take, for instance, Saudi Arabia. The Crown Prince already declared that they want to promote with it after the war. And I think that the Abraham Accords is a very good experience. You can ask the Emiratis and the Bahrainis and the others. So therefore, if I have to assume, we will normalize the relations eventually, but there is one condition for the beginning. We must eradicate Hamas. This is the basic, I would say, condition for the situation, and we must end the war. And the war will not be ended without the eradication of Hamas.
And in your estimation, these countries, they're not going to push back meaningfully on that issue. Is that right?
Well, it depends. It changes from time to time. I know one thing. We have to focus on it. I mean, there are some, I would say, challenges, but we must focus on it. Right now, we have the support of the Biden's administration. And I believe that the majority of the Americans and the Western world is in our side. You could see, for instance, from the beginning of the war, what's been happening in Britain. The British government is very supportive as well. You have Croatia, you have other countries, and therefore we must focus on it. The world must understand that the victory against Hamas, it's a worldwide interest. It's not only the interest of the state of Israel.
And when you say that, what are you saying exactly? Why is it in their worldwide interest?
Because think what would happen if Hamas would come up as victorious. It will be branded as a very problematic, I would say, entity. People who support for Hamas, who's being supportive for Hamas, will use it against the Western world. More than that, Hamas uses a lot of violence. I mean, I would suggest to many who don't know, let's go and read Hamas Covenant. because at the end, the aim of Hamas is to apply the Sharia law not only on Palestine or the land of Israel, but worldwide.
Right.
There are many speakers of Hamas who said it again and again and again and again. More than that, it can create a lot of troubles inside the Arab world because you have to fight between the Shia and the Sunnis. More than that, another interesting point, it's about Iran.